Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey y'all, this is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
I'm Dave.
Hey Nash, welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back.
You know, you have never missed an episode since you started.
I know.
And now you're catching up to Dave.
I might have a little ways to go.
Yeah, I think you get... You're good. Well, we miss you, but, our bud Ryan filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Feedback from Ryan was good. People liked him, but they wanted you back.
Yes.
Yeah, they missed your food talk, your pudding skin talk.
Mm-hmm.
I do got one message here. It says, forget the pudding skin. It's all about the no sleeves. Bring Ryan on permanently. From a guy called Coach Norm 33. Do you guys know him? I don't know. No, we missed you, bro. Man, your home construction is really a massive undertaking.
It is. Bro. We're about 65% of the way done.
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay. My goodness.
Well, that hopefully switching days keeps you from missing 60 to 70% of the episodes.
Right.
Yeah, it should definitely help.
Awesome. Well, you should be happy because this is the topic we're going to discuss tonight is the mysterious Coral Castle. This was submitted by Art Designs 305. It's something he thought would be really fun for us to talk about. He's all about the pudding skin, Nash. Alberto. Sorry, man. I think it was like 2 years ago when you suggested this.
I know.
But we did make a list, and that list is really helping us
Yes.
get to these topic suggestions. So
I know.
turns out it was all about the list.
Yeah.
So we got
Organization is such a wonderful thing.
I know. I mean, I guess we need project management here.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Who's going to take that one on?
I don't know. I don't know who's taking that one on.
That's a good call.
But we got that. We got listener feedback. We got a listener story. So it should be a really fun time.
Cool.
Nash, since you missed last episode, anything you wanted to jump in on any of the Hollywood movie things? Is there something that I know you were researching, but just didn't work out. Was there something you wanted to tell us?
Well, I came across a bunch. There was a bunch, and there was so much. And there was some of them had like elevator shafts that people were falling in and dying in.
What?
Yeah, there was killer sets, and I don't know. I just feel like of the episodes to miss, that was one that had so much good craziness to it. I think I had like pages and pages of different sets.
Oh, boy.
Well. Yeah, it was a bad one to miss. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. But now I'm like, wait, there are elevators. People are falling down elevator shafts. You were talking about sets coming alive and killing people. I'm like, you're writing like an excellent B horror movie right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, there has to be like a Lorenzo Lamas character in there, so there's got to be some basements to go in, running cars that get avoided so they can run into the cemetery. There's all kinds of good stuff in my B movie. So
I love how you lead off with Lorenzo Lamas.
there has to be a Lorenzo Lamas. I was actually thinking of like a Pam Anderson role first because I'm just saying because in every bad B movie,
No, what are you just saying?
that there's some very attractive people wearing not very much clothes. And so that's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah.
Then the second was Lorenzo Lamas.
Okay.
Because he's attractive and not wearing a lot of clothes?
Oh, Lorenzo, where have you gone?
Well, I know he's listening. So what's up? What's up, Double L? Hope
That's
you're
right.
doing well. Yeah, like he's listening.
You're like, maybe he shouldn't have come back. Yeah.
No, really, I'm curious of what movies you looked up. It sounds like you're looking up a bunch of trauma films.
Yeah, there was some interesting stuff. So maybe I'll put a list together and so people can take a look at the sets and see what I was looking at.
Sweet. Well, I know Alicia's waiting to get this episode actually rolling.
Oh, boy.
So let's get to the mysterious Coral Castle all the way down in Florida.
In Florida. So this is from the bittersoutherner.com. Ed Leedskalnin.
Oh, man, do we got to start this episode all over?
No. His name, it's a long last name, so I'm sorry. Ed Leedskalnin was a little guy who was...
Wow.
I know.
Leedskalnin.
He was a little guy who was chronically ill, but in 1923, he took 2.2 million pounds of Florida limestone, some chunks of as big as 10 tons, and built a castle. How did he do that? Was it magic? Manipulation of gravity? Help from aliens? Or was it the power of a broken heart?
The power of love.
Now, when you say low, he was 5 foot and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, he wasn't even like barely 100 pounds.
Yeah, it was like 100. I saw some that were like 120, so I'm sure it varied. But
Oh, I have it right here in front of me. He was
Okay.
5 foot and weighed 100 pounds.
so
Wait, as much as like a leg and arm of me.
right. So who was Ed? Ed, he was born in Riga, Latvia on August 10th, 1887. Not much is known of his childhood, but there have been suggestions that his family were stonemasons and farmers. He was able to attain an education through 4th grade before having to work in the field with his family. When he was 26, he became engaged to Agnes Scuffs. He called her Sweet 16 because she was 10 years younger than him. She was his one. She was.
I don't know about that.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't like that.
So she was his one true love. Unfortunately, Agnes canceled the wedding one day before the ceremony was going to happen. And this broke Ed's heart. Now, I did find another story, another version, that it was Hermione Lucis, and she was actually 24.
From Harry Potter?
No. I don't know what Hermione's last name is in Harry Potter, but it's not
Granger.
Lucis. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The reason it didn't work out with her was that he couldn't afford her dowry. So who knows which one is true, but basically he had a broken heart. So he then traveled to America, where he developed a terminal case of tuberculosis.
As one does.
Yes. Doctors told him he had no hope to live very long. But
Oh, the bedside manner in that time period.
yeah, they were like, you're not going to live long. Sorry about your luck. But he ended up actually surviving. And it was a miraculous thing. Like, he should not have survived.
Right? Here's where the whole maybe he's a wizard thing starts to come into play.
Now, he did say at a later time that magnets are what saved him. I don't know what that entails, but I thought that was
Dude,
interesting.
there was a whole, like, what do you call it, a pyramid scheme thing with magnets. But these magnets will cure all your ailments.
It worked for Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very true. Now, he did move to Florida at some point because the climate was good for his health. Now, because of his anguish, his sadness over Agnes, he set out a lifelong quest to create a monument devoted to her. Now, with no outside assistance or large machines, Ed independently built the Coral Castle, sculpting and carving over 1,100 tons of oolite limestone, which is called coral rock, which is why it's the Coral Castle. It's formed from coral and fossil shells. He started this castle in Florida City until 1936 when he found out that they were planning to build a subdivision near him. He was a very private person. So he decided to buy 10 acres in Homestead, Florida, which is about 10 miles away. And he spent the next 3 years moving what he had already started to that point.
Right, but he wouldn't let he did all this by himself. This is the first time he hired somebody to help because he needed, someone to, drive this tractor.
Right.
He wouldn't let them help load the flatbed that he kind of made. But every morning the truck driver would show up and he would already have several tons loaded on the back.
Yeah.
Because he would only do these things at night. He didn't want anybody to see what he was up to.
Yeah.
Right.
And how much
because
did he
that's
buy
when,
it for?
What?
How much did he buy the land for?
Oh, you know what?
1936, Florida.
It probably wasn't much.
$12. $12
$12
It was for $12. He bought it for $12.
Wow.
Did you make that up? Is that Nash?
No,
is that
that's-
Nash math or is that real?
Okay.
That's really $12.
Wow. That's quite a deal.
What's the rate today?
It's a little bit more than that
Yeah.
because you got to clear away all these damn rocks that are laying around.
Right. So you already mentioned this. He was a short man. He was
You're really hitting that home. Huh?
I know. And he only weighed 100 to 120 pounds. This is what makes it remarkable, like what he was able to do. He would cut and move huge blocks of coral only using hand tools. He also did much of the work at night using the light from lanterns. He labored for 28 years, which was a testimony of his great love for Agnes and the life they might have had. Unofficially, they say that the castle is a temple built to the Egyptian gods, which explains many of the planetary and occult symbols scattered throughout the... I'm sorry. I know. I'm having an issue here. Scattered throughout the castle. So not only was this for Agnes, but they also think that he was building this as kind of like a symbol to the pyramids.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking like, all right, so his fiance, the love of his life, dumped him.
Yeah.
Probably because he was 10 years older. So
I think he was a little weird too.
He's a little teeny tiny creeper.
So he's just going to like spend 10 years making a thing for her.
He's like, I am 10 years older, but you're huge.
I think you move to America, get a fresh haircut, and start meeting some new people.
So throughout the years, Ed, he would charge 25 cents per person to tour the grounds. But he would let people enter for free if they didn't actually have the money. So I don't know if that's a testament to like he just wanted people to see this. But he also sold pamphlets about various subjects, including magnetic currents and moral education, which you have something, Mark.
Oh, do I? He has a book. It's called A Book in Every Home, containing 3 subjects: Ed's Sweet 16, Domestic and Political Views, by Edward Leedskalnin. Published by Edward Leedskalnin. Let me just read a little bit here for everybody. I don't even know where to begin with this. To those more than 15,000 people who have seen Ed's place, I told about Ed's Sweet 16. Now I will tell you why I did not get the girl. In Ed's place, I also feel like he's talking in the third person.
Yeah, it's third person.
In Ed's place, there was a lasting fame for a girl's name, but it would have taken money to put the fame upon her. The trouble was that I did not have the money and didn't make enough. That was the reason I could not look for a girl. Now, I'm going to tell you what I mean when I say Ed's Sweet 16. I don't mean a 16-year-old girl. I mean a brand new one.
Ooh.
If I had meant a 16-year-old girl, it would have meant at the same time that I made money for the Sweet 16 while she was making love with a fresh boy.
Oh, boy.
I will furnish all the lovemaking to my girl.
Oh boy.
She will never have to seek any from anybody else, for I believe that there is not a boy or man in this world good enough to be around my girl. And I believe that the other men also ought to have enough self-respect so they would think that I am not good enough to be around theirs. But he continues with some messed up things.
Yeah.
I don't even know I want to read anymore.
Yeah.
All right, I will, because I will.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All girls between 16 should be brand new. If a girl below 16 cannot be called brand new anymore,
Oh, boy.
it's not the girl's fault. The mama is to blame.
Oh, no.
It is the mama's duty to supervise the girl to keep those fresh boys away. In case the girl's mama thinks that there is a boy somewhere who needs experience, then she herself could pose as an experimental station for that for that fresh boy to practice on, and so save the girl.
Oh, wow, that's okay. I mean, they could be taking the baseball approach. You got to swing the bat before you hit the home run. I guess. I don't know. I don't have an analogy for that. That's
I don't even know what to say. I mean, there might be a reason that his 16-year-old bride left him.
Right. Oh.
because he's nuts, and and probably going after her mom.
Oh my God.
Now, the book also has other things going on, because he has 3 things he likes to talk about. And it gets even weirder. He talks about the unemployed people shouldn't vote. It is not sound to allow the weaklings to vote.
Oh.
Anyone who is too weak to make his own living is not strong enough to vote because their weak influence weakens the state. So I think it's possible he was a little off his rocker, per se.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah. Well, but didn't. Let me just back up a little bit here, because didn't she leave because he didn't have enough money?
Right. But there was probably a lot of fresh boys knocking at her door.
Well, maybe they had to be not too fresh, because if they were really fresh, then they had to go to the mom first to get some experience before they went to the daughter. Right? Is that how? Yeah.
It's kind of like because the mom. Yeah. I kind of want to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So, what does it have a publish year on it?
Yes. Let me back up here. 1936.
Wow.
So this was after the Wall Street crash, and he's talking about the unemployed or the weaklings. Yet, the whole economy tanked. It's interesting.
Oh, I feel like these pamphlets would also, when people could tour, you could grab these pamphlets.
Yeah. I think he sold the pamphlets as well. So,
Yeah, I think they were a dime each.
right.
He also has a section here talking about etiquette for women, how to smile. You don't want it to. I'm not going to find the exact and read it verbatim. I'm just going to tell you, but you can't get too gummy. He says you got to just show the teeth a little bit, nice little smile, because if you get too big with a smile and you show your gums, it ruins the illusion.
Okay.
Right. So
There you go, Nash.
Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of.
Oh boy.
That silence was me trying to smile without any gums. We need to show this footage.
Wow.
just don't show your gums, Nash. It ruins the illusion that.
Yeah, I know. It's hard not to. Okay.
If you want to be
All the listeners at home, take 30 seconds and look yourself in the mirror and try to smile without seeing your gums.
We'll wait.
That's your homework.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do it right now, everybody. We'll wait. So I mean, there's more to discuss on Coral Castle.
Yeah.
We hit on that, but I mean, I feel like the guy was a creep. Possibly.
I think
sounds like it.
Okay, so from what I was reading about and the things that I was coming across, I'm pretty sure he was just like a big weirdo, maybe like super awkward. I don't know.
Well, when did he come to America? What year do you have down there?
I don't have a year for that.
I'm just saying, if he came to America, built this castle, and in 1936, he's still writing about 16-year-old girls, something is wrong, and maybe the police should have picked him up.
Well, he was born in 1887, so if that gives you any indication of what his age was at that point.
I can't do the math.
I know, I can't do the math either. Dave?
Nash, don't even try. Stop it.
13 and 9, 30. Yeah, he is in his 40s.
Yeah, so
49.
that's just, that's not good.
God. Well, and I'm also thinking too that he was talking about the unemployed shouldn't have votes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But did he have a job?
No, his job was people would come to the
he was a castle
castle
builder.
and
He was a castle builder,
Yeah.
and he didn't have any money because he was using the boulders, a lot of which were on his property already.
Ooh,
So-
calling him out right there.
Yeah, so his whole book is like giving the reasons why he shouldn't have any ability to vote or participate or be a citizen in the U.S.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think there could have been something that was a cause of his lunacy.
Possibly. So in December 1951, Ed put a sign on the door that said, "Going to the hospital." And he took a bus to the hospital. He died in his sleep 3 days later.
He rode his bike.
I read somewhere that he took a bus. Because I know he didn't have
Let
a car.
them fight.
I know. He,
Yeah.
he didn't have a car. So I did read that he did have a bike. So I'm not surprised, like, if you read something that he went on his bike. But anyway, so it was either 3 days later or 28, depending on the story that you read. Okay. But basically, he was 64 when he died. And it was either kidney failure or stroke or something of that nature. But
Maybe he never did go on buses and he decided for that one, and that's what killed him.
Maybe.
Mass transit will do it.
God.
Kind of like Richie Valens type of thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
obviously, Ed was weird, and he built this castle, but that's where it gets even weirder, like how he built this.
Yes.
How he built it
Right.
by himself. How he built it by himself at night because he didn't want people to see what he was doing.
Right.
And all the things he built.
How he also had a 4th grade education.
Right.
Now, he was into reading books. Look, I read books, and I have yet to turn into a Spider-Man. But he somehow seemed to find a way to move gigantic rocks all by himself. We got magnetism. Was he the first Magneto? I don't know.
Well, he had that little spinny magnetron, hand cranked magnetron on the property.
Yep. Perpetual motion machine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have some theories
Yeah.
out there,
boy.
on this guy, but we'll keep going first.
Well, to go with that, he has a quote that says, "I understand the laws of weight and leverage, and I know the secrets of the people who built the pyramids."
Aliens.
So,
I'm not saying it's aliens.
Yeah.
It's aliens.
Yeah, so I read somewhere that all the different blocks that he was using, on average, each block was heavier than each block used in the pyramids.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So overall, he was able to accomplish something more than what the pyramids were.
My goodness. Now, Dave, did you get some of the unusual and amazing sculptures and things that he did on the
Yes.
property?
So the weirdest one that I came across is the telescope.
Okay.
So this thing's kind of really cool.
Okay.
It has two pieces to it. It's a 20-foot or 25-foot tall tower that has a hole carved at the top. And then distance away, there's a small hole carved in, I want to say a wall or something that perfectly aligns with it. And when you look through this, you'll see some wire. And based on the star Polaris showing up in there, you can figure out the position of the Earth within the solar system.
Wow.
So it's like for somebody who even talks about magnetism and things like that, he was figuring out how to set this up in really weird ways. Like that has nothing to do with magnetism. That's astronomy and cosmology.
Right.
Like where's he getting that from? Similarly, he has a sundial that he carved that will tell you the time and half hour, as well as the season, just by the position of the sun as it comes over the stone. So again, he was, wise beyond his magnetism and whatnot.
Right.
And
Somehow,
his fourth grade
some way.
education.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Some people thought that he was digging into a lot of Tesla stuff that Tesla did.
Ooh.
There was a lot of talk of electricity.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. Nash, did you have anything on that?
Well, no, and mine had to do with magnetism and creating the current from the magnetism, and some of the things I actually did a little research into the coral that he was using. Okay, because I don't have the ancient wisdom of the Egyptians on how to move large stones,
Right.
but
Which
I
people
do know
still
how-
argue about to this day and how it was done.
Yeah.
But I can definitely attest that we have very recently moved a series of 1,000+ pound flagstones with some PVC pipe, and that's all.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to do that. But this is not 1,000-pound stuff. This is 9,000 pounds and 15,000 pounds, and
I'm pretty sure he didn't have PVC pipe.
yeah,
Right.
And there was no PVC pipe, and there's nothing but sand and this little skinny, scrawny guy.
Yeah.
But I do kind of prescribe to the idea, or subscribe to it anywhere, not prescribe to it, of creating the current with this little magnetron thing and using it somehow to, now see, once you superheat limestone, it grows excessive magnetite within the limestone itself, which you get about 500 degrees, I believe, Fahrenheit, which is super hot. But how hot is a fire? I don't know. So if there's a way, I don't know how hot fire is. I never tested it. With a Fahrenheit 451 to burn books. So if you burn a book, you can almost create a magnetic force in a piece of coral. Which is kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah. Now, what I found interesting is that
the temperature of fire can range from around 400 degrees Fahrenheit to 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So
Depending on the fuel.
Yeah, depending on the fuel. So if he makes a little campfire in the sand, you could literally put a piece of coral on top of it, and it'll start to create magnetite. He has his little hand crank magnet thing, and he's working it, and he's like, yeah, baby, oh, baby, here we go, baby. And all of a sudden,
I feel like I got to delete this
yeah, because that's what I would be doing if I was creating a magnetic force.
All I'm thinking is Super Troopers.
But then the coral would be magnetic to introduce an opposing or a similar magnetic force, which would lighten the load quite a bit.
okay.
But he would still have to take the 10-ton rock and put it over top of a campfire to lighten it.
You could also do it with current. Current will do the exact same thing without creating a fire.
Right. So that was the thing with the magnet gear that he actually tried to file a patent on it and was rejected. But he said that you could power like a whole vehicle with this, and it was just that you were realigning north and south on the magnet, and it was causing the thing to just do its thing, and you got this power. It still exists at the Coral Castle. Unfortunately, they have pictures of him using it, and all of the rest of the contraption has been taken down. So no one knows quite what all he was doing and what exactly he was using it for. So
he was making a turbine, man. He's making some homemade turbine power.
Yeah.
Now,
how he came up with that, though, that's the question.
Now, he had a crazy gate that had this giant rock, but it would swing with the greatest of ease. Dave, I think you were looking something up about that, but also when it broke, it took a whole bunch of people with a bunch of machinery to fix it.
And they could never get it right. So yes, this was the 9-ton gate, and this was he considered as one of the entrances. It was like you could just push it with your finger, and this 9-ton rock would just spin, and you could walk through like you were going through a revolving door in a store or something. And at some point, the gear on the bottom rusted. And it, so that was 1986. It started to rust, and it caused it to start to fail. And they brought in a company. The company tried to fix it, and they got it to work again. It wasn't locked, but it was not nearly as easy. And then I want to say 10, 15 years later, they decided to try to repair it again, and it actually got worse. It's so it's I believe it's not accessible for people to try anymore. But he also had 2 other movable devices. The one was called the Sun Couch, and I couldn't find anything on this. It apparently also does not work anymore. But there's the 3-ton rock, and this looks like a piece of cheese out of a cartoon, just like a wedge of cheese. And you can just push this 3-ton rock with your finger, and it'll just spin around. Apparently on the tours, they'll try to tell you to, see if you can do it. And everybody like tenses up trying to push this heavy rock, and they immediately like fall into it.
Now, didn't they take the, when it busted, didn't they took the rock apart to try to rebalance it, and they found underneath it, there was another rock supporting it. Like almost at like a fulcrum at like a point. And they took that rock to get it tested because for some reason it didn't get crushed. And they determined that rock that was supporting the 9-ton door wasn't of this earth. That it was not, it wasn't, they said it wasn't a meteorite, but they didn't recognize it on any known periodic table.
Ooh.
That I did not read.
Yeah. Deep research, huh? Yeah, and they didn't know why it didn't break because it wasn't the same size, even remotely close to the 9-ton door. But for some reason, it didn't get crushed. It didn't lose its point.
Wow.
It didn't deteriorate in any way. It was still able to support this thing. But for some reason, they couldn't tell what kind of stone it was, where it came from, recognize it whatsoever. Supports the overall theory I got going on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, we're excited to get there.
I know. So there are quite a few like paranormal things that happen there. The area seems to have an energy to it. Some believe that because of what Ed was able to create, he was manipulating magnetic and natural forces through magic.
Okay.
So he created an attraction to the area by the weird. So the area has continuous sightings and formations of UFOs. There are panthers and alligators that show up from time to time, but there are
At
also...
the castle?
Yeah.
That's just Florida, though. That's just
Florida. Yeah. That's not weird. What is weird...
yeah, it is.
I think if alligators are kicking it at the castle,
people have seen the skunk ape there. So
what? He's hanging out the castle too?
Yep, he has shown up here and there. There is talk of fae or fairy folk. People have their reports of strange creatures and elf-like beings roaming the different structures. And at night, some have heard chattering on the grounds. So I don't know.
Puckwudgies?
Maybe.
Dave, how do we defeat a puckwudgie?
We kick it.
And then finally, people have seen ghosts. So at night, people can see fireballs and St. Elmo's fire near the tree line. St. Elmo's fire.
Emo's fire?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, everybody.
I know. Cameras malfunction. And then also people looking at their photos later, they will see a figure or a specter. There was nothing there before. Staff often report shrieks and screams coming from certain spots.
That's because of the alligators and panthers.
Right. And the skunk ape.
Skunk Ape.
Ed has actually been seen, usually before dawn, taking measurements and looking at
I'm a 16-year-old.
No.
Oh, you're looking good. Oh, you're fresh.
Measurements of his castle.
Stay away from fresh boys.
Some believe that he is dreaming of how he can add to it. So, But just some weird stuff on top of all the other weird stuff. So,
All right. So I think there's the quote from Arthur C. Clarke that magic is just science we don't understand yet.
Right.
I think Ed would definitely say that, yes, I'm using magic because you don't understand the things I know.
right.
Okay. Even Thor. That science and magic is one in Asgard.
Right. Yep.
Now, a lot of the shapes and everything he carved there was like things shaped like moons and stars.
Yeah.
He even built this two like stone rocking chairs that were kind of so you could sit in them, but each person could face the opposite direction, but you could still be super
Just
close.
in case you were fighting.
In case you were fighting, you could still
Yeah.
be close together. This guy was so heartbroken that he built this entire castle because was he thinking that she would come back and we'd have all this. You know, hey, if you're mad at me today, we can still sit in the lovers' rockers.
Right.
I could be close, but you don't have to look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I actually saw that he invited her on like 3 or 4 occasions to come and see this, and she refused every time.
Ha. Oh, boy.
It's because he didn't carve that 2-person lover's toilet where you kind of sit close to one another and you can,
And you
look,
can look
over
at
and
each other's
say hello.
eyes while
You can look at each
take a
other's
dump.
eyes and you kind of lean over to give it a little smoochy, and you're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm actually wiping." Don't hold
my
on for a second.
God.
I'm not.
Oh, this,
anyway,
this didn't go the way I expected.
hey, so you're always together. You're always together.
There's sometimes you don't need to be together. And I think that would be one of those occasions.
Yeah.
Well, did you also see I saw some images from the inside, I guess, the house. His house that he had. It was very sparse. He did not. When I saw those images, I was actually surprised to see other images of him wearing his suit, because it's like, wow, you really lived just as sparse as you could be.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even see a closet, the place to hang some
Yeah, I
clothes.
thought he
or
had
put up a
his
suit.
bed was like just some blankets hung up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if she would have taken up his offer, he'd had to scramble and make it look good inside.
Right.
Vacuum.
Definitely would have
all
split. Yeah.
all that sand. He would have been vacuuming forever.
Now, some of the theories. Now, there is a guy out there, I forget the name, but he built some equipment to prove that this is how he
Okay.
did it. But there's other people saying there's a recollection. There's a story, a tale, where these kids swear they snuck in to watch him work one night, and he was like levitating a stone, like singing this song.
What?
Yes. So that's again like, okay, so he was using Egyptian technology. What if it was Egyptian technology given him by the aliens?
Thank you. We finally got there.
Oh, then I'll kick it over to you, sir.
No, I was just thinking that this guy had no education.
4 years, grade school,
Yeah.
bro. He probably knew how to do cursive and things like that.
4th grade. Okay. Well,
King of dodgeball, probably not.
yeah, that's
Right.
True. That's true. But the concepts that he was wrestling with, I forget the education that Einstein had when he was a patent clerk, but something happened, something kind of clicked, and maybe it clicked at this guy when he got a little bit older and he was a little distraught, got a little cuckoo cuckoo. I think he might have actually had a conversation. Maybe he was visited by something.
Oh, I thought for a second you were the one. He did some psychedelics, and it opened up and expanded his mind.
I did read an article that they were talking about like there could be some mushrooms involved, but I don't know.
That's some pretty awesome mushrooms.
Right.
Well,
for
that's how
someone-
you do see skunk ape hanging out. If you
Yeah,
had to,
true story.
Well, if you take the mushrooms, you'd be having a conversation with them. You wouldn't just see him there. You'd have a deep, a conversation about quantum physics or something like that.
with skunk ape.
Yeah, with the skunk ape.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that this technology, and how would you have an idea of magnetism without having any previous experience with magnets? Or I don't know if he did or not, but I was just thinking a lot of the ideas and concepts that he was using, I don't know, would they be around at that time frame? How would you get it? There's no internet, there's no phone. The guy's broke as can be, broke as a joke on the beach in Florida. I mean, you don't come across a lot of high-tech stuff at that point in 1920, 10, whatever. I don't know.
Something.
Now, if his family were stonemasons, then there would be knowledge passed down through the family that wouldn't come from grade school.
Yeah,
so
You
that
mean
could-
like the Masonic?
I mean, yes, there's that possibility. I'm talking just
now we got the secret. We're bringing in the
concepts
secret societies.
right. I'm talking more just the concepts of working with stone, and if that's what you do, you'll know how to move heavy stones fairly easily and things like that. He may have taken it to another level or had additional help to take it to another level.
Like aliens.
I'm thinking like there were aliens among us that saw him get stood up at the altar or day before, whatever, took pity on him and here's a talent, use that to.
Do you think aliens come all the way from a different galaxy to hang out or check us out, and then they feel bad for this one dude and help him build this castle? I don't know about that.
Think of Stargate. So they're there, and was it James Spader that felt sorry for the kid and was like taking him under his wing and trying to help him and all that? We were the aliens in that case and trying to help him. Now, obviously, they had the gods aliens that were, but it's one of those depending on what you're experiencing.
I like what you said, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Kevin J is right. See, that's not the real Dave.
It's not the real Dave. That's right. That's right. Now, see, the theory that I have, was that he was in Latveria. He was working with Dr. Doom as an apprentice. Whatever. Okay.
Which Dr. Doom's got all that magic going on.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of crazy stuff going on over there. He was taken. This is my theory.
Okay.
He was taken, and one of the theories that I came across online was that the idea of the bride who left him at the altar was a figment of the imagination, was implanted in him.
Oh.
So he was taken and relocated to Florida. They put him back there for God knows what reason, who knows. And then the history of the bride that left him and that whole saga was all an illusion to drive him to, it gave him basically like implanted backstory into him. And then that unlocked this other knowledge, which they either shared with him or he witnessed when he was there.
But the bride is a real person that you had referenced, Lish.
Yeah.
That she was like,
Agnes. Yeah.
Agnes.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Agnes.
that could be why she refused
Agnes
to come
scuffs.
visit. That could be why she refused to come visit, because she actually didn't know who this person was.
Correct.
What do you mean I left you at the altar?
Right.
Who are you, and why do you think that I even know you? And she'd get those letters, and she's like, "This guy, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Why does he keep writing me? I don't understand."
Why does he blame me for all this stuff?
Yeah, I've never met him. See, and then while he was there getting probed in what you do with the aliens,
boy.
he was like looking around, and they were doing some crazy alien stuff, clicking and clacking and doing magnet stuff. And he was just like, "Yo, I think I could." He's like, and maybe he pocketed a little alien tech or something like that, and then came up with this whole magnetron idea, and then he was off and going. And the
Nash is
stonemason, yeah. and I gotta say, with the stonemason theory, I agree to that a lot, because there is an art to it. Being the son of a bricklayer means that my brother and I have intrinsic knowledge of bricklaying techniques. Not that I ever do them, but that doesn't mean I'm like a freaking Picasso with bricks, though.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not
True.
recasting the clay. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it was an alien intervention kind of a thing. Implantation and intervention and relocation.
So I will say,
Go ahead.
Liz.
No. I was going to finish it up. So go ahead.
Well, the one thing that I found, sort of closing out from what I found of the one of the comments on one of the articles that I was reading about this, it made me laugh, but also got me thinking. It was basically like, this guy's a jerk. He gained all this power and he used it to build a coral castle. Think of what he could have done for the human race.
He was just really bad at networking.
Yeah.
You know, he went
a
to
weirdo.
America.
Yeah.
He was. People are like, dude, that guy's a freak, and he was like, yeah, I am, yeah. And that
Don't know if he had that accent, but
Well, I don't know the accent of that variant people. So if you're from Latvia, you know, please correct my accent, please.
God.
Send us an audio clip of you saying things like, dude, you're a weirdo. That way we can play it and we know what, you know, that kind of a thing.
Oh, man.
It will always be a mysterious location. Something people will want to talk about, want to visit.
Yeah.
It's kooky. I don't even know if we really went deep on some of the structures that he built, but it's just weird. And if it keeps people talking to this day, then, I mean, I guess that's mysterious.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of visiting, adults 13 plus, $18. Children 7 to 12 are $8, and children 6 and under are free.
And if you're 16, you are free also.
Right. And I did find a small thing. Discover what the universe has in store for you. Coral Castle invites you to join us on the first Saturday of every month for Psychic Saturday. Palms read and fortunes told.
Cool.
So I thought that was kind of cool, too.
Well, probably time for a break. We've been going on. We got some listener feedback, but I would like to leave you guys with another passage from Ed's book. The first thing I'm
afraid to even listen to this. Oh, my God.
Don't raise the girls to be big by overfeeding them.
Oh, my God.
And too curved by neglect. People who want to shine will always have to restrain themselves, because if they don't, their actions won't be graceful.
Oh, God.
Even when one's looks are good, if he abandons restraint, the performance won't be good.
Oh.
It is more likely that the person himself won't notice, but others will.
The performance won't be good. What does that mean?
I got onto that one, too. What? The performance won't be good.
Don't know. It's just a random passage I picked where I'm like, WTF, dude.
This guy really only talks about one thing. So
Yeah, really.
Magnetism and this.
Yeah.
Woo. On that note, why don't we take a break and we'll be right back.
Oh, my God. Honey, look. It's Bigfoot.
No way. Let's go say hi. Hey, Mr. Bigfoot. What you reading?
You can call me Frank, and I'm reading the Paranormal Punchers comic book.
Paranormal Punchers?
Yeah, it's about a group of podcasters that get themselves in all kinds of paranormal trouble. It's like Scooby-Doo meets the X-Files, and it's hilarious.
Sounds great. Where can we get a copy?
Just head over to paranormalpunchers.com where you can find a comic book and all kinds of merchandise.
Thanks, Mr. Bigfoot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. Oh, and look out for that bear.
And we're back. All right, Coral Castle, Artisans 305. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I think he mentioned this when he gave us this topic idea years and years ago. But Billy Idol wrote a song inspired by it. I think it was called like Sweet 16 or something like that. Now, the official video I found online is like he's definitely in the studio. But apparently there is a version where they have some shots of Coral Castle. So,
Oh,
Billy Idol.
that's cool.
There you go. All right, you guys ready to jump into listener feedback?
Yep.
And we got a bunch here, some fun stuff. We heard from Old Stuffed Yellow Bird. He was also the person that gave us the idea for last episode, the haunted movie sets. Just listen to your latest episode. Have to say I enjoyed it, along with the previous episodes. Thank you. Have a couple of questions for you guys if you want to answer them. Have you guys ever thought of a listener stories episode? We actually did one, Old Stuff. Yeah. And I want to do another one for sure. I think
that
it's
would
great. That was a fun episode. Some really cool stories. Again, one of the ones that I remember the most is the guy who was going to university, ran into this professor because they thought he was late for class, and this guy ended up being a ghost.
Yeah.
That was a great story.
That was a really good story, yeah.
But they continue here. What do you guys think of the fact we get clear video and pics of the moon and Mars surface, but bad videos and pics of supposed UFOs here on Earth?
Well, my thought was I feel like they possibly might be able to put out like waves to
like a dampening field.
Yeah, like it destroys.
Blur waves.
Yeah. Not destroys, but it like blurs things. So, things can't be as clear as we want.
Okay.
But
I like that.
Okay, that I like that a lot. I'm going to go with, pictures of the moon, pictures of large astronomical things. They tend to prefer, when we look at them, our perspective, they move really slow. Really slow. Where usually a UFO is going to be zippy zappy. And I'm just thinking that maybe it could be the photographer, and maybe aliens and the Bigfoots and the other cryptids of the world, when they're getting ready, they're like, hey, take a picture. I have my flip phone. And they throw them the flip phone. And that's why they're always bad. Is actually the photographs are on the Bigfoot's flip phone. And
because for a second, I'm like, everything you're saying makes zero sense to me right now. but with your concept, Bigfoot's like, hey, use my flip phone.
Yeah, take a picture of
I
me.
will take a picture. Great. Now I'm going to, what's your phone number? I'll message you over the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think Bigfoot has that kind of time.
Well, what is he going to do? Run off to work or something? He's just walking around the woods. Of course, he's got nothing but time.
Oh, I thought Bigfoot had a job. It was picking up all the aliens' garbage there.
Well, but when you go visit someplace,
Poking
when you go
holes in
to
your
Hawaii, you have people take a picture of you. Like if you have the Eiffel Tower behind you, or you're in a fountain, they're like, hey, excuse me, can you take a picture of us? Bigfoot's doing the same thing. He's at Yellowstone, and he's like, "Oh, it's gorgeous! Take a picture here." Use
and
my
Bigfoot's
flip
acting
phone.
like he's holding up something, like they do with the.
He's like holding up
Leaning
something
Tower
like
of
this,
Pisa.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's using some old school flip phone, and then texting the picture, and it comes out all gritty.
Well, that's Nash's theory. I was gonna say one theory. No, that's Nash's theory. But all right, all right, I dig it. I mean, in a perfect world, that would be perfect.
Right.
And we have more. And would you want underwater aliens that are more like War of the Worlds aliens, or the Abyss aliens? One of my favorite all-time childhood movies memories.
Oh yeah,
Abyss aliens.
The Abyss aliens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, are you talking about the water forms that come through the sub or the underwater station, or are you talking about the aliens that are controlling the water?
The aliens controlling the water.
Okay. They're like the giant manta ray type kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So you guys are going for the Abyss aliens. And that's interesting because further down here in my list of things, we got Chromos who brings that up.
Oh, okay.
But if you remember last time I talked about why are these alien ships disappearing in the water? What if they're living in the sea?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, again, thanks, Old Yellow Stuff Bird, and thanks for the topic idea. That was awesome. We had a great time doing that episode. We heard from Will. Hey, guys, I just finished your new episode, and first, I need to state that while I liked your guest and hope he comes back, I would like to be the first to join the pro-Nash rebellion, hashtag putting skin for the win.
For the win!
Well, there's no need for rebellion. We didn't kick him off the show.
Right.
So
He'll be back.
he was just wicked busy.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to thank Dave for saying that what he said about the National Space Station. I thought I had pretty well thought everything, but obviously I was wrong, and I was looking into the space. Sorry, I messed that up reading. He thought he saw an alien ship, but you reminded me about that space station.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Mark brought up the thing about your phone listening to you. And I had a thing happen to me about 3 years ago where I was hanging with a buddy, and it mentioned buying a good hockey stick. And within a couple hours, there was an ad for some of that on his Facebook and Instagram.
Wow.
It's always listening. Always.
I still think, I don't care what Zuckerberg says. It is definitely
It's
listening.
definitely listening.
And I don't see how they can argue it. I've experienced it firsthand. Another podcast I listen to and love, Telling Steve Dave, literally listening to the episode, he brought up something about, was it diapers? Whatever. He looked at his phone, he's like, wait, I'm getting ads now for this.
Oh my God.
So I don't care what Facebook says. They are, yeah.
It's always listening.
It's always listening. Just like when people are like, hey, everybody, this would be fun. Tell us what's the first car you ever owned. Or the name of your first pet. Like, no, don't do that.
Right.
They're data mining, and someone's going to use that to hack your account.
Right.
Yep.
Just like Batman did when he tried to locate the Joker.
It's not quite the same, but yeah.
He was listening to all the phones. He used echolocation on all the phones.
But he wasn't
right?
serving ads like, oh,
Right.
No,
I hear
different.
Nash needs a hockey stick.
Think of the revenue opportunity he missed on that.
Right.
While he was doing that, he could have been serving up targeted ads and making a killing.
You know, and for a guy, the toys he has, he needs to continue to make money. He would, if Bruce Wayne was real and he was Batman, he would probably have to own Facebook so he can keep generating revenue for all his toys.
Or just rent airspace like they do in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nah, Mark Zuckerberg is not Batman. Okay.
No.
We heard from Nicole. Enjoyed the last episode. I have a few comments about what you guys talked about, if you want to hear them. Heather O'Rourke died during the filming of the third Poltergeist movie, which is why you don't see her face at the end of the movie. From what I heard about the set of The Crow, was production safety wasn't in place. Blanks were made from bullets bought from a pawn shop, and one wasn't properly made into a blank. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard about that. Plus, I think there was a short-lived Crow TV show.
There was.
There was?
Yep.
Oh, it had to be awful.
It was pretty bad. And
Okay.
once the Crow was done, it did not have any success or anything even remotely close to the first movie.
And with Bruce Lee, I heard a theory he supposedly had an allergic reaction to the meds he took for a headache he had. And Nicole, that's exactly what I heard.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we said on the last episode.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But I heard, yeah, he had a wicked bad headache, and he took somebody else's prescription headache medication, and he had a reaction to it, which gave him an embolism.
Yeah.
So at least from whatever documentary I watched
Right.
a long time ago. So I could be wrong, so don't quote me and yell at me if I'm wrong.
Goodness.
But
And I've taken other people's like
it sucks because imagine
Medication.
how.
at work.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
It's okay. It's okay.
You've taken other people's medications.
No, I've
at
taken
work?
their like
what
if
are
I
you
have
doing?
a really bad
Well,
headache and
you're
they have
ingesting
like
other people's like Prozacs at work.
no. No, at work
Why
like
is it
if
gotta
I
be
have
Prozac?
I don't know. It was the only one that came off the top of my head. I was going to say B12, but it sounds better with Prozac.
I mean, I do take B12, but
See, it's not exciting.
but no, like if I have a really bad headache, like Teresa at work, she has like this like super like high potency headache medication.
Oxycontin?
No.
Big 750 ibuprofen.
No, it's like it's like a really big ibuprofen type of situation.
Those things are awesome.
I know. So I have taken those like when I have a really bad headache, but I can't even imagine that.
We'll learn from Bruce Lee.
I know.
Don't take somebody else's prescription. Rest in peace, bro. You'd have been. Could you imagine what he would have accomplished and done?
Right?
Okay, moving on.
that was a moment of silence.
It's a moment of silence.
Yeah.
No, and I grew up watching his movie. I love all his movies. We heard from Paul. Hey guys, first off, hope you enjoyed your trip to Lake George, New York, and we did. Mm-hmm. I live 30 minutes away from there, and actually was at Six Flags the same weekend.
Oh.
So traffic is always horrible in the summer. Anyways, I have a story for you guys. My aunt passed away in February from cancer, and we had some crazy experiences happen to me and some of my family. Aww. First, our condolences.
Yes.
Yeah.
The night she passed, she had her kids and husband by her side. No one else. Well, her nephew, who was 7, came to her husband's house, my uncle, and told us that when he was sleeping, my aunt went to him, grabbed his hand, and took him to the hospital and brought him to her room. And he told us the room number and exactly how my uncle and her kids were by her side. The crazy part is, he didn't know she passed away at the time. And he never went to the hospital with anyone. That same night, we were all standing in the kitchen, looking at pictures and talking with my mother and uncle. My mother and uncle were standing against the counter and distinctly heard 3 knocks. They looked at each other and couldn't figure it out. To keep it short for you guys, my cousin and his daughter, who too saw my aunt in their driveway when she was looking at the window. I think they saw her when they were looking out the window.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I went home a couple hours later, and me and my girlfriend were watching a movie. Now, I have a picture of my aunt standing on my stand with her favorite kind of flower. We watched that fall off and the flower. And then my mom called us 30 seconds later and told me they had a picture fall off the wall at her house.
Gosh.
And they came to find out that their uncle had a picture fall off at the same time.
What?
Anyway, sorry for the long story, but it was a good experience. We'll never forget. At least we know she's always watching over us. Mm-hmm. Keep up the good work. Paul, again, our condolences.
Yeah.
And Paul, to you, I'm sorry that I butchered reading that. Your aunt deserved me to do a better job.
I know.
But thank you for sharing that experience with us, dude. We heard from Alan T. Hey, guys. Just wanted to drop you a line and let you know that yours was the very first podcast I ever listened to.
What?
Wow.
And now I'm caught up with everyone.
Oh, no.
Love the way you banter, entertain, and spook your way through the topics every week. Well, technically every other week. You all make me homesick as a former Pennsylvanian. Not sure where you're based, but wonder if you ever heard of Kinzua Bridge.
Kinzua?
Kinzua? Have you?
I have heard of it. It's actually near that Bigfoot festival that was just going on this past weekend that I sent you.
Well, that was like a far drive.
I know, that was a super far drive. But
No, after Lake George, I didn't want to drive. It was like 4 hours, but I just... it's a beautiful sight to see in the heart of McKean County and was once the tallest railroad bridge in the world.
Wow.
Unfortunately, a tornado in 2002 destroyed most of it, but it still stands as a scenic overlook in the valley below. As a bonus, McKean County has also had its very own Sasquatch sighting, so it might be a nice place to go check out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was going to say, I wonder if that's why they have a Bigfoot festival up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to check in and say thanks for all the weird and wonderful. I'm always looking forward to more. Well, thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Alan T.
Yeah, not Paul. Alan T.
Thank you too.
Well, I botched that one.
Yeah.
But hey, we do the show live and barely edit anything out, so you're getting all the. This is how it really works. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
And I did look it up. 4 hours. I think we could do it.
We probably could have done it, but I also heard so my coworker, he did actually go, and he said it was kind of more of a craft fair. Yeah, so he felt like it wasn't really worth going to this Bigfoot festival, but it was cool.
Well, I'm glad we didn't make the drive.
Yeah.
Well, unless it was one of the booths was actually Bigfoot, and he has like all kinds of like crafts.
Right? Then I would totally be
He's
into
over there
that.
making like those Blair Witch stick things, selling them for like just $1 or $2.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that got stuck in my fur.
Oh yeah, he like shakes out his fur and it gets like earrings out of there. It gets just miscellaneous toys. And
But then it would be like at a Comic-Con where the celebrity's charging like $80 for a photo with them.
Oh yeah.
And if you give him a slice of pizza, he'll say "Happy Birthday" on your answering machine.
Okay.
That's the new celebrity thing. You pay them, and they say "Happy Birthday" to you.
But you said you pay him with a slice of pizza?
Yeah, what's Bigfoot going to do with money?
Oh, I'm with you.
He has no pockets.
Does he eat pizza?
Well, I would assume so. He I don't see why not.
What if he has a gluten allergy?
Ooh.
Well, then that's a problem that she's got to deal with.
Mm-hmm. He'll deal with it the next day for sure.
Yeah, the next day he'll go, mm-mm. The next day go, oh.
Well, that's where the show's going.
Yeah.
Down the toilet.
Yeah.
We heard from Chromos. Just listen to the last episode. Told you there was going to be a lot of UFO disclosure happening. And take a quick overlook what they take a quick look at what they call the tall whites. Now, have you guys heard about the tall whites? I think we discussed it with the one episode in the Zone of Silence.
Yeah.
I think so.
These really tall, pale white, probably aliens from another planet. So we might have to look into that for sure.
Were they the tall, like looked like a super giant pair of pants that were walking across?
No.
No, that was somebody else.
No, wait, we never
That was
talked about a
No,
super.
that was in California.
Was it the Fresno Night Stalker or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, the Fresno Night Stalker. But it wasn't a giant pair of pants, because if a giant pair of pants is walking around,
Right.
I'm extremely interested in that, too. I mean,
I don't know.
okay. Continue with Chromos here. Also, I'm disappointed in the fact that none of you brought up the movie Abyss by James Cameron.
It's a lousy movie.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Nash.
I'm just kidding. Wow.
Whoa.
I had the whole show just almost shut down. I swear, my
You and Twister and all these other ones. My
Twister
God.
is bad. Twister. I just saw, I commented on some stuff on Twister.
Yeah,
But,
Travis had a post for you.
Yeah, but Abyss is one of the best movies of all time, even to date. I think it is.
Funny thing about that movie, it was filmed in 1989, and the movie was smooth sailing and great pace until it started talking about underwater aliens. And then the movie seemed rushed and really cheap ending. Turns out some of the reasons the funding was pulled from the movie halfway through, so they couldn't do more on the encounter that was in the original script. Kind of funny, right? And after that, no big movies or shows would have underwater UFO storylines.
Oh.
Kind of strange.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily
Yeah.
true. There was the second in the Kelvin universe, Star Trek. Yeah. Bear
Wow,
with me.
you're going very nerdy right now.
Well, I'm just telling you because in that movie, the Kirk and the Enterprise are on another planet, and the ship, the Enterprise, is underwater, which makes the Enterprise and the humans and crew of the Enterprise aliens underwater. Boom.
Well, he does finish up here saying, and it's Navy, not Air Force, that is controlling the info blue book.
And the Starship Enterprise.
And other government studies. I guess apparently they were all Air Force, but now the Navy is overseeing them. Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. But even if the aliens are in the water, they probably still came from space.
Yes.
Right?
But who knows
technically
how
didn't we all?
long they've been here.
Well, it doesn't matter what the exterior, what's going on in the environment around you. You're still in a perfectly enclosed, airtight. It doesn't matter if it's underwater or in space. It's still the same on the inside. It's just what's on the outside. It's just a higher pressure environment. So the only thing that really should be able to survive the depths in our planet would be a spacecraft, because it is geared to be completely airtight in space.
Right. I just meant they probably came from another galaxy and settled in the water where we could never find it with our current technology, and they could just observe and probe and do their thing.
Just underneath that layer that they talked about in the documentary, the Meg. So and there was a false bottom, that the Meg was underneath. Kind of that they can hide underneath there.
I understand what it feels like to be my wife and roll my eyes as hard as I just did.
Did you hear it? Did you hear my eyes roll?
It's spreading over there.
We heard from the drunken squatch. See, now that
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
The drunken squatch gave us a 5-star on Apple Podcast, favorite podcast. I've been listening to this podcast for a long time, and I recommend it to anyone who's interested in the paranormal. Fun crew with interesting topics presented in a fun and hilarious way. If it's not weird, it's not worth checking out. Of course the drunken Sasquatch gets us.
Right?
I think that would be a new Kung Fu style.
The drunken Sasquatch?
Drunken Squatch. I'll have to think about that.
Hopefully not too much.
Yeah. I'm going to work out a whole system of fighting using the drunken Squatch.
Oh, boy.
When do you have time to do that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just plug it in and it'll be there for a while. Slow rolling, of course.
I mean, what else is he going to do when he's driving?
Yeah, exactly. This is the podcast and thinking about drunken Sasquatch fighting.
Yeah, don't do that while you're driving.
Please don't.
All right, we're going to wrap this up with a story from Soph.
Okay.
Alicia's going to read this one because I've done such a wonderful job so far. I'm going to throw it over to my wonderful wife to finish this off.
Oh, boy.
But I will start it for you.
Okay, thank
Hey,
you.
guys.
I just finished today's episode, and I'm fangirling.
I'll take back over.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
I'm sorry.
Go.
Yeah. And I'm fangirling. I can't say it. Fangirling so hard right now because y'all read my message. So glad y'all enjoyed my input. Tell Ryan that he doesn't have to feel bad about giggling, as long as we all understand that he didn't mean it like that. I think he's all good. I don't really know how to segue into
I'm sure Ryan wasn't being insensitive.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Were you, Ryan?
Okay. I don't really know how to segue into my Hatman Shadow people experiences here, so I'm going to just dive right in. I had some trouble with my mental health and coping skills when I was younger. I had a somewhat turbulent home life until I moved to college. When I was maybe 12, I started to see things. Looking back, I don't know if it was just a stress reaction. Like if my brain was making me see things to personify stress or to alleviate myself from reality, which is why I prefaced this with my state of mental health at that time. I want to be transparent with y'all. Either way, I wasn't seeing shit. Every time I would walk past a specific window at my school.
No, either way, I was seeing shit. I thought you said it sounded like wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think I did say that.
Okay,
Either way,
I was having trouble getting by. I want to be transparent. Sorry, I let you read something, and then I'm going to critique you.
Right. Why don't you just
This
take
is terrible.
over?
I'm so. I love you so much. Keep going, baby.
Either way, I was seeing shit.
Soph, I'm sorry.
Every time I would walk past a specific window at my school, I'd feel my stomach drop and see wispy shadows twirling in the window. I tried not to look at it, though. Let me start over. I'm sorry. I tried not to look at it, though. I had to walk that direction every day. Every night, I would turn off my light to go to sleep. I would see a shadow man with a bowler hat in the corner of my room. I would stare at it until my eyes strained in the dark, and I would eventually give up each night and try to sleep facing the wall with my blanket thrown over my head. One night was different. I did the usual thing, stare at the shadow until my eyes hurt. This time, when I closed my eyes, it was as if I could see through my eyelids. But when my eyes would be closed, the shadow man would be standing on my closet door, standing parallel to the floor. I kept opening and closing my eyes to try to get it to go away, but the more I did it, the worse my anxiety got. I decided to squeeze my eyes shut, although I could see through my eyelids. Then the shadow started walking up my closet door and left these blacker than black footprints and walked onto my ceiling upside down. And at that point, I turned on my light. I can't read. I couldn't do it anymore. Once I turned on the light, it was gone. But when I would blink, I could still see the strange foot-shaped void portal footprint things. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's hard to describe. If you've ever looked at the sun too long and you get that weird green, black, blue blob in your vision anywhere you look, it's like that, but shoe print shaped. I felt compelled to scribble out a drawing of what they looked like once my light was on. Once I did, all the fear and the vision blob thing disappeared, like nothing had happened. Sometimes I still see footprints here and there, but they disappeared if I look back for a double take. So that's my experience with shadows and shadow people, possibly the Hat Man. I'm not sure if it was all stress and hallucinations in my childhood, but it sure as hell felt real. I guess the next time I write in will be about the whole seeing vision thing. That'll be very interesting. Sorry this message is hecka long again. I promise I'm not trying to write a whole darn novel in this message section. Keep up the good work. I hope your vacation was good despite the bad driver and the spooky GPS situation. Lots of love. Soph.
Thanks, Soph. Thanks, Lish, for tackling that.
Sorry, Soph, that I did not do it as well as I could have.
I put her on the spot. A little behind the scenes. I was going to read it, but then I was pointing the screen, and she gave me a thumbs up that she would read it. This is the first time she's seeing it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I get to look these over, and I get used to what I want to say. Unlike today, we kind of went out and had beers first.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, sorry.
But Soph, seriously,
Yeah.
A shadow man in the corner of your room with a bowler hat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm baffled how you and I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like there's got to be more to this phenomenon. Mm-hmm. Now I didn't have anything where I would close my eyes and still could see him, and definitely see him standing on the side of my closet door.
Oh God.
That'd be freaky. Again, I would do the exact same thing. I would roll over and offer Lish as a conversationalist. Just a conversationalist. Yeah.
I think that I kind of take that as maybe he was kind of messing with her a little bit.
Maybe.
You know,
Oh,
he
like
was
you,
just like,
that won't work. You're still going to have to see me.
yeah, you're
Right.
still gonna have to see me, and you know what? I'm gonna break just to show off. I'm gonna break the laws of physics. I'm gonna walk up the side of the wall and then on the ceiling. He was just kind of like owning it, you know.
Yeah.
Very weird. Nash, you know, you've had that feeling where you look at the sun, you get all those weird spots.
I do.
Oh yeah.
I do. In fact, that is. It's funny that you say that because I've had that recently. It's called diabetic retinopathy.
Oh, well, I was
Okay.
taking it like I was making a joke like you're the kind of guy that would look at the sun like, oh, look at that.
So
But now you're going
Nash,
to take it here.
I've had optic neuritis before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it does the exact same thing. So
Yeah, and so for the longest time, I didn't look at the sun, but I could see that there was like a.
oh my god.
Because you're not supposed to.
Well, I mean, you could look at a light bulb for like maybe 5 seconds, and then that after image
Right.
will be there. So it doesn't take very long, but yeah, that happens. That's where it like sears the back of your retina. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. It's hard to get rid of.
I mean, unless it's
Great.
the Hat Man searing the back of your retina.
It could be.
That's
It
not
could
pretty
be.
cool stuff.
Well, and it was like egg shaped. It was weird. It was like elliptical shaped. It was odd. It was like a black void egg was floating around everywhere I looked. It was pretty cool.
I don't know if that's cool, or
Cool
not.
or not cool?
Well, the treatment really sucks. As much as you see a black egg sucks, the treatment really sucks. Yeah, that's awesome. That's where you got to put the needle in your eyeball on the
Oh
backside.
no.
Yeah,
No.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
No.
That's a pain you never want to wish on anybody.
No.
Well, hey, from all of us at Paranormal Punchers,
Been there, gotcha.
been there, gotcha. I know what that means. All right, hey, thank you so much for sending in feedback. We love to hear from you. We love any of your stories. Even if it's just if you went on vacation, saw something
Right.
cool.
Right.
You want to talk to us, be part of the show, just go to paranormalpunchers.com. You'll find all the ways to contact us. Do it. Why not? What do you got to lose? Outside of us reading your story poorly and then making fun of ourselves for doing so.
That's right. That's right.
We have a Patreon. We're doing some cool stuff over there. They were slacking at the moment because summer and all the crazy things that are happening. We will make it up to everybody over there right now.
Yeah.
But if you're into some extra content, hearing us being just as awesome as we were today,
Just as awesome.
just go to patreon.com/paranormalpunchers.
Yeah.
Or just go to our website. You'll find the link. What else? Anything else going on? Yeah, we still got the puppet thing we're working on, but
Yep,
I
yep.
can't believe it's going to be July here shortly. I don't
I
know what's
know.
happening with time.
I think it's like fast
aliens.
forwarding. Yes.
Oh, Lish and I are going to have a special episode dropping this weekend
Yeah.
called, what is it? The Weekend Show on Patreon. We're going to talk about the Adirondacks documentary.
chairs?
No,
No.
Bigfoot in the Adirondacks.
Oh,
Because we just went there on a trip. You know, we were up in Lake
you took
George.
you took the chairs with you?
It's called Adirondack National Park.
Oh,
And there were a lot of Adirondack chairs.
I bet it
But
was.
we're not going to talk about the
I
chairs.
didn't sit in any of them though.
We're going to talk about the documentary, what is it? The On the Trail of Bigfoot,
Yes.
The Journey by Seth Breedlove, the people over at the Small Town Monsters. Then we're going to talk about Conjuring 3.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the documentary, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yes.
So over on Patreon, The Weekend Show.
Yes.
Maybe not the title.
No.
Because I like
It's either
alliteration. So it's going to be Weekend Weirdos. Or
yeah.
we were thinking about doing it Wednesday, so we were Wednesday Weirdos.
Yeah.
But I guess not everything has to be an alliteration.
You could if you do it on a Wednesday, it could be the weird hump.
The weird. That's not an alliteration.
No.
It's hump day. Wednesday is hump day.
No, but I was like trying to have like Wednesday weirdos. But you call it. You say make it the Wednesday hump.
No, the weird hump. It happens every Wednesday. It's
The
hump
weird
day.
hump. Does it happen every Wednesday, Nash?
Wednesday is hump day.
Okay. But that's
the hump
going
in the week is not the time when you have relations.
That's going down.
I mean, you could do it on. I mean, if it's scheduled that way. I mean, whatever you're into.
Every Wednesday's
Whoa.
the weird hump. Okay.
It's a show and a direction. Mm-hmm. Join us on the weird hump.
No. That's not
It's got to be a show now. Here we go.
if it's not Wednesday, you're not being humped.
God.
No, that's not a good tagline. I won't use that one.
No.
We'll work on that. We're spitballing that idea.
Just spitballing ideas.
Okay.
It's thrown against the wall, one would say.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for being part of the show, listening to the show, supporting the show. And one of these days, we'll have some kind of fun meetup at a haunted location. Until then, thank you. You're awesome. And if it's not weird,
It's not worth check out.
what is going on today, woman?
You're thinking about that weird hump is what it is.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. It threw her off.
What the hell?
If it's not weird, it's not a weird hump.
Hey, baby, it's Wednesday. You know what that
You
means?
screwed me up. Yeah.
Well, I need to find the stop button on the recorder. We'll try it again. Ready? And everybody, take two. If it's not weird.
It's not worth checking out.
Good job, buddy.